I am amazed and frankly somewhat appalled by the amount of comments in my videos and other people's videos of people insisting that sizing air conditioning systems square feet per ton is an acceptable way of doing it, and they defend it vehemently. I just don't get it. If you start your argument with, I've been doing this for X years, I know that the next thing that comes out of your mouth is going to be absolute garbage, and I'm not going to take you seriously, and I'm probably going to delete your comment without even reading it. So if you actually want your comment to be read, then I suggest that you lead with something else. All right. Sizing square feet per ton. Let's put it this way. You go out to the lake on a Saturday afternoon. You're going to spend all day out on the lake with your family. Put the drinks and some ice in the cooler. What kind of cooler are you bringing out? Well, most of you are going to bring out a really good quality cooler like a Yeti. You're probably not going to trust that your drinks are going to be cold all day long out in the hot sun out on the lake with a Walmart Igloo cooler. And so houses are the same thing. You can have two houses or two coolers side by side. How they are constructed really matters. Whether or not they sit in the shade or in the sun matters. With a house, how much glass and what direction that glass faces matters. Same square footage, maybe even same floor plan. How many people are in the house, whether the house is well insulated, whether it's sealed, all those things are variables that you have to consider when sizing a system. And sizing per square feet addresses absolutely none of that. And I always get these comments that, well, here in this state, we size 400 square feet per ton. And then I'll get someone else in a different state, we size 800 square feet per ton. And then people will get on there and argue with those people saying, no, that's too much or that's too little. You got to size 500 square feet per ton. And I'm just sitting there like, who are these clowns that are out there selling air conditioning this way? You act like each state just is like one climate. And as soon as you cross state lines, you're in a different climate. And there's no such thing as, a couple counties that are in higher elevations in the mountains and a couple of counties that are down in coastal environments and microclimates around bodies of water. You act like none of that stuff is real, and those things matter. So there's a reason why rules of thumb work. They work a lot of the times, but they don't work all the time. And the problem is, if you don't have any math to back up that rule of thumb, then you don't understand when it's going to work and when it's not going to work. And have I sized every system that I've ever installed using a full manual J heat load calculation, manual S? No, I haven't. There came a time when I could look at a certain house or a certain floor plan, and I knew through experience of doing hundreds of load calculations that a 2.5 ton system was going to go in that house. Now, I don't suggest that you do that unless you've got hundreds, if not thousands, of load calculations under your belt. And even now, I do a heat load calculation on every house that I do consulting on, working on, because that accuracy matters even more so with my consulting job. And I don't see the same house over and over again, and I'm in a different climate now with my new market here on the coast. So I don't take any of that stuff for granted, and I do a heat load calculation. And I think you should too. Now, you've got a choice to make as a craftsman. Are you going to adopt tools and methods that are going to make your job more accurate, a better, more consistent product for your customer? Or are you going to insist on using the same tools and methods that you used when you were an apprentice? You don't do that with your power tools. You don't do that with your hand tools, your instrumentation. You upgrade, you learn better ways of doing things, you take pride in your work. Well, sizing, selecting, and selling a unit is also part of that craftsmanship. You've got to take that with the same amount of seriousness that you take everything else. And so I just urge you to not insist stubbornly on these old rules of thumb that were put in place decades ago when houses were built different. Adopt these new technologies. They are so much easier and quicker, and they produce better results than they ever have. Because if you know that there's a better way of doing something, and you've been taught that, and you refuse to adopt it just because it's too difficult, it's too time consuming, you don't want to put in the work and the energy to learn it, then can you really call yourself a craftsman? Can you really market yourself as doing good quality work on the side of your truck and all that? No, you can't. So if you want to argue with me, I just urge you, first of all, don't start with, I've been doing this for X amount of years. And including your comment, a standards organization, a technical manual, something from a manufacturer that supports square feet per ton. And then I'll consider your argument. If not, I'm just going to delete it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Work safe.